online. I'm your host, Jimmy Langan. Today we brought you to Maxwell's fitness programs. We're here with Rob Maxwell. First of all, I want to say thank you for having us.
Absolutely, thanks for
Appreciate
coming.
Yes, what kind of workout you have planned for us?
We're going to do a little old school high intensity training workout. Everybody talks today about HIIT training, and we've known about HIIT training for a very, very long time. Oftentimes when people go to the gym, they say they're working out. They don't realize that there's a lot of different things that can come out of working out. There's muscular strength, there's muscular endurance, there's power, and there's hypertrophy, which is gaining size. What we're going to focus on more today is a little bit of old school of hypertrophy and strength training, where we really try to slow things down a little bit. We're not so concerned with numbers, we're not so concerned with functional exercise. Although I am an advocate of functional exercise, I also believe before we do that, we should have a nice foundation of strength and hypertrophy, which comes from slower movements, going through proper form, and focused on more how we do it versus the numbers. So that's going to be our style of workout today.
Excellent, let's do it. Okay, Rob, what's our first exercise?
All right, our first exercise is going to be a dumbbell squat using the ball.
Okay.
The reason why I like to use the Swiss ball is because most people cannot do a squat properly without their spine falling forward. So then most of the emphasis when they fall forward becomes on their core, and then their quads, hamstrings, and glutes never get properly fatigued. I'll demonstrate without the weights, and I'll hand you the weights. Okay. But essentially everything I believe in is we're going to do nice, slow, and controlled motions. You know, everything done today in the fitness world is done very ballistically and fast, which is great for power and some other things. But for building pure strength and hypertrophy, which is size, slower is better. Hurts more.
Sure.
Doesn't hurt the joints, hurts the muscles. So what we're going to want to do is get our feet shoulder width apart. Try to keep our knees in line with our feet the best we can. They can turn slightly out.
Okay.
Okay, we're always going to try to lower to a count of 4. So it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice pause, so we're engaging our quads, hamstrings, and glutes, and then come up 1, 2, but don't lock out. You always want to keep tension on the muscles. So 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, 1, 2, and then right back down.
Okay.
All right?
Awesome.
Want to try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Down, 4, 3, 2, and hold, and come up 1, 2 without locking out. Bring your feet a little further out. That way we can keep the knees behind the toes. Good. Okay. So 4, 3, 2, hold. And now it's slow. Good. And a lot of people always ask about repetitions, and for the most part, good 8 to 15 rep range is good for strength and hypertrophy, but it's really more about fatiguing the muscles. And really, not to get too technical, but those rep ranges really just came from time under load anyway. And the reason why those rep ranges are really effective because you're in your anaerobic system, anaerobic glycolysis system, between 30 and 90 seconds. And it just so happens 8 to 15 reps falls in that, which of course they don't talk about that a lot in the magazines, but that's really why that rep range is selected anyway. So in other words, time is more important than reps.
Sure. I'm definitely feeling the burn.
Yep.
All right, Rob, now we're going to do some split squats.
We're going to do some split squats. Coming off the squat exercise, this is another one of my favorite lower body exercises because again it works the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings just like the squat. What separates it though is you can really work one side at a time, so you can really focus on one side. All right, so another reason why I really like them is because it keeps your back nice and straight, there's no bending over.
Okay.
So like the squat exercise, we're going to go down 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee almost hits the ground, a pause, and come up 1, 2. Want to keep the front heel down, and the back heel comes off the ground. 2, 1, pause, and come up. These are burners. Want to give them a shot?
Absolutely.
All right.
Nice. Staggered stance.
Staggered stance, yep. I'm going to split them. Get a nice wide stance. There we go.
Keeping our back straight.
Keeping the back straight, keep the knee from going over the toes. Go down 4, 3, 2, 1. Slight pause. Come on, just a little slower.
Okay.
Get the balance first. Go, hold, come up. There we go, that was good. Let's do 10 per leg here. The idea is really to feel the muscles, fatigue the muscles. This one's It's going to target your glutes, your butt muscles a little bit more than your quads.
Yeah, those are burners. You're not kidding. All right, here we go. We are in position.
Let's get a little bit wider.
Okay.
Yep. That way we're just better able to keep our knee from going over our toes. And that's what gives people knee pain, is actually when their knee crosses their toes. That was a little close. Put that back leg back a little further. There you go. And go more straight down. There you go. The angle's better. Good. Can be done anywhere. You know, gave you extra resistance because you're strong. You've been doing stuff like this. It can be done with just your body weight. We have some clients who don't have the greatest musculature or flexibility, so they will hold on to something as they're doing it just to get through the range of motion. But we still follow the premise of nice, slow movements. The idea is to build that strength and hypertrophy, you know, not power. Power's great for other things, but it's not what we're trying to accomplish when we're doing an exercise like this.
All right, Rob, what do we got set up now?
All right, well, after working the legs, I always like to go into the next larger muscle groups, which is the upper torso, the chest, and the lats. So we'll start with a nice primary exercise, a single joint exercise, meaning it only works one muscle group at a time. Okay. Basically a dumbbell fly, but a dumbbell fly done right. So again, like everything's been so far, slow and controlled. I always like to have the trainee start at the top, slight bend in the elbow, just like they're basically hugging a big barrel. Go down to where your upper arms are parallel to the floor. And as we come up though, a lot of people don't know to do this, but you actually want to turn palms in this way. You get a nice complete contraction of the pecs. So again, just like the other stuff, it's going to be the slow and controlled. So we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we come up, we're going to squeeze 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, the idea is to really get the fatigue on the muscles. That's what we want. We don't want the stress on the joints, on the shoulder joints. We want it on the muscles.
Excellent. All right, so
we train properly. We don't need as much weight as a lot of people typically use.
So I'm going to go down 4, 3, 2,
hold it.
1.
Slight pause, and as you're coming up, you're going to turn inward and really squeeze your pecs at the top. There you go. And go back down. Feeling some burn yet?
Little bit. That twist definitely helps, and I'm feeling the burn as I go down slowly.
Yep.
And then explode up.
Correct. And that lactate, you're going to feel the burn. That's actually a good thing. It tells us that your muscles are working at the point where they're getting anaerobic. That means fatigue is around the corner. And again, that's what we really are shooting for, is fatigue.
All right, Rob, we moved this over to a machine. What do we got going on?
Yes, we did. We just worked our pecs doing the fly exercise, so I like to keep the blood in the same area. Now we're going to go into your upper back muscles, your lats and your rhomboids.
Okay.
So we're going to do a basic pull down like a lot of people have done, but I really like this vector machine here because we can pull it out a little wider and get good contraction on the lat. So all we're going to do is grab the handles. We're going to go down on one knee. So we start in a nice full stretch. We're going to pull down. It's real important to keep the sides of your arms in line with the side of your body. We're going to squeeze, really contract your lats, and then again, 4, 3, 2, 1. So as I've been explaining, everything is really about how we do it. Not just going through the motions, but nice contraction, try to feel it the whole way. It's going to be down, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we give it a try?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then we switch legs?
You don't have to. You can go down to whatever knee you're more comfortable with.
All right, so good. I guess go down to my knee right here.
Yep.
And this is the explosion part.
Correct.
How's that look?
That looks very good. And then 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And you always want to go to full extension on these pulling type exercises. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. A lot of people try to shorten the range of motion. We're not going to be able to develop the muscle completely if we do that. Really, that's our goal, is developing the muscle. A lot of people are into the power training these days, which is great for athletics. But if we don't have a solid base of strength and hypertrophy muscle size, we're going to be much more likely to get injured. If people follow a typical periodization plan, which hopefully they do, then they're going to work in that order. First develop some strength, some muscle tissue, and then get more into power and ballistic movements, and they can do it a little more safely.
Okay, Rob, now we're doing a push-up.
You got it. Now we're going to go right into a push-up. One of my favorite exercises because you can do them anywhere. But again, like everything, I don't like when people just go through the motions of a push-up. Really, it should be slow and controlled. The idea is not really how many you can do, but doing them correctly. So we want to go down to a nice negative 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, and then come up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, contract the pecs, and come up. It's amazing when you do them like that how people's push-up numbers go way down.
Yeah. All right.
The idea is to build the strength, not to demonstrate strength or endurance.
I'm gonna hop in and try it out.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
The reason why I love the push-up again is you can do it anywhere. It's a great exercise.
Now, you want your palms on the ground.
Shoulder width apart, a little wider than shoulder width apart.
Okay.
We can vary that a little based on people, but really I like the shoulder width.
4,
3, 2, and hold it. Then come up. There we go. Always engaging the muscles. Good. You're keeping your back straight, which is good. We always want to try to keep a straight back on a push-up. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about, doing their 50 push-ups, and that's great, but usually when you try to show them how to do it properly to build, that goes down to like 10 or 12 real quick. Now for trainees who are more advanced too, you can simply use the TheraBand training and a push-up to give you more resistance. You get to the point where you really are strong enough to do them correctly in a lot of reps, you can add resistance. Sometimes you can modify with the count. You can go even slower on the way down.
I've honestly, probably most of the time when I've been doing push-ups, like you said, I'm trying to do numbers. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I'm not concentrating on that pause at the bottom.
Correct.
Which I definitely felt it more.
And we train some people that will get into push-up competitions and stuff like that. And if you're competing, then it's the opposite. Then you actually do want to let that negative go because you're going to get more reps. But if you want to build that up, if you want to make yourself better, if you want to make yourself stronger, you got to really, really fight it in the training and do it nice and slow like that. So it's very good. It's
awesome.
A good set.
Excellent. On to the next one. Okay, done with our push-ups. What are we doing now, Rob?
All right, we started with our larger muscle groups, our quads, glutes, then we went on to the torso. We did a couple chest exercises, the back exercise, trying to show you a nice efficient workout that you can do in 25, 30 minutes, focus on form, focus on quality. So we'll move into the deltoids. Now we're getting into some of the smaller muscle groups. The deltoids aren't that large of a muscle.
Okay. All
right, I like to use the basic lateral raise for a lot of people. One reason is you can do it anywhere. You need dumbbells, you can find any ways of resistance, bands, even cans for some of the senior citizens we work with, soup cans. And plus it really isolates the deltoids very well. Now, whenever I do a standing exercise, I like to have people in a staggered stance because it takes some of the pressure off of their back. And the lateral raise should be performed similar to everything else, under control. We're going to raise up just to the parallel, so my upper arms should be parallel to the floor. I'm going to pause for a second and come down 4, 3, 2, 1. So again, the idea is to build strength, not demonstrate. This makes it harder because my arms are straight, which means that I'm taking advantage of the lever system, meaning that if anything's further away from my body, it makes it harder. You'll see a lot of trainees in the gym who haven't had a lot of coaching, they do the opposite. They change the lever system to make it shorter, and then the next thing they do to make the exercise easier and they can use more weight is they just kind of bang them out. Now, that's not going to really build strength. So a lot of people will tell us, well, I usually use 30 pounds for lateral raises, and then we try to have them do it right, they can't move it. So really, it doesn't take a lot of weight if you do them correctly. So we just come up, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready to give it a shot?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Here you go.
All right. I know from experience these burn, so.
They do burn, yep.
All right.
Now let's
And
get
now,
a staggered stance so you can take some pressure off the
Okay.
back. There you go. All it does is that keeps you from doing this. So when you do this, you're basically not as likely to do that.
and I noticed you didn't have them completely straight out.
Correct.
They are out
A
of
slight angle, correct.
Okay.
Slight angle puts a little less stress on the joint of the shoulder, which is the most, don't go quite as high right about there.
3, 2.
1. And don't go all the way down either because that takes tension off the muscle. Good. Now, a principle that's being talked about again in the fitness world, and I'm grateful for that because we've known about it for years, is called time under tension. So again, it's really about how long the set lasts versus how many reps we do. And the tension part is we always want to keep the tension on the muscle. So if Jimmy here were to go all the way down where his upper arms go to his shirt, essentially he's taking tension off of the muscles. So he's unloading the muscles. We like to keep the muscles loaded. Does it make it harder? Yeah, that's the idea. Can he use as much weight if he's doing it right now? But we tell most of our trainees, you know, to keep their ego at the door. We don't care how much you've lifted before. It really doesn't matter. You know, we're just focused on forming quality. Probably feeling that burn in the deltoids, correct?
Yep.
Very good.
Okay, Rob. Now we're going to stick with the theme of the dumbbells, you said, and we're going to move on to some bicep curls.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, as you see in the gym here, we have a lot of machines, but you know, I want people to realize that they don't need a whole lot to do a proper strength training program.
Sure.
So yes, we'll stick with the dumbbells. We're going to do a dumbbell curl.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't realize that the biceps actually have two functions. One of them is to flex the arm.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is to supinate the wrist. A lot of people don't realize the supination part. So when we do a proper bicep curl, we really want to try to do both of those functions.
Okay.
So as we come to the top, now we're going to twist outward, pause, and still come down to our negative. 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to come up, twist, pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you see, I've got my staggered stance again because I want to keep that back nice and
And I noticed you've got pinkies up.
Correct.
When you get in there.
Yeah, that's called supination.
Okay.
So when we turn our palms outward like that, that's called supination, and that's one of the functions of the bicep. But that's correct. Pinkies up.
Great.
Okay.
Let me try
Give
it.
it a shot here. Come up to about chest height. There you go. That's perfect.
Keeping elbows tight in on the body.
Keeping elbows tight in on the body. That's correct. That way the shoulders are less likely to get involved. So everything we do when building strength, building musculature, is to try to keep the stress on the muscle groups we're working. Good. Starting to see some blood get in the muscles, getting a little pump there. Nice little brachial arteries starting to pop out a little more. And notice your breathing is very good. The important thing with strength exercise and breathing is to just breathe. There's no truth to really blowing out on the positive and all that. It's really as long as you keep breathing like you are, that's what we want to focus on.
Okay, Rob. You just gave me the pump in the biceps. Now we're going to do triceps.
We're going to keep, we're going to keep the blood all in the upper arm. We're going to move on to the triceps. One of my favorite tricep exercises is the tricep extension, but using this vector machine.
Okay.
Just personally, I like it. There's a lot of different ways to work the triceps, but I really like this machine for that. So we're going to grab the handles, step out a little bit. Again, staggered stance, mostly for balance in this case. You're going to try to keep your elbows nice and high. You're going to go out to full extension and really lock out. And then you're going to come back 4, 3, 2, 1. Always go back to full flexion. Then out, squeeze, extend, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Shot.
Yes. All right. Staggered stance.
Staggered
Back is
stance.
straight.
Elbows are in tight to the ears. Point them up a little more. Yep, that looks good. Out, extend and squeeze. And come back 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Out. Keep the elbows a little higher as you push out. Yep. That way we eliminate some of the shoulders. Squeeze. Good. tell trainees that this is their meditation time. Try not to think about their troubles during the workout. Try to think about the muscles, and you'd be amazed how much better the mind and body feel after a workout. Famous quote by the old Ellington Dart is a high intensity guy used to say, when you're starting to feel it, that's when you know it's starting to work. Too often people stop at that point and they really miss out on all the benefits.
Okay, Rob, coming off the arms, now we're going to finish off with the core.
I'm going to go into a little core. I really love the plank exercise, but I also wanted to show a different exercise again, because we're really sticking with that extenuating the negative theme, which means taking advantage of the negative. So do some negative extenuated decline sit-ups. So we can hold this is I believe a 25 pounder, just a nice resistance. So again, we're going to go back to 4, 3, 2, 1, get a little pause, come up, but not all the way up because we don't want to unload the muscles. So 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, and come up right about to here. Again, we can feel a nice stretch in the muscles, lengthening of the muscles, which is really what the eccentric is doing.
It looks tough. Let's do it. I like how you mentioned not to come all the way up and unload the muscle.
Correct. Yeah, we
All
don't
right.
want to rest.
So,
Yep. You just hold it on your chest and keep your chin up just a little more. And we go back 4, 3, 2, 1. Probably just a little lower, and then up to about there. There you go. Go back 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And come up. Good. Now, one of the biggest myths in fitness, and you probably are well aware of this, is a lot of people believe that if they just do crunches over and over and over, they're going to flatten their stomach, and that is called a spot reduction. There's absolutely no truth to that. The stomach, of course, flattening comes from our diet. And the abdominals are no different than any other muscle group. They need to be challenged with some resistance, taken slow, so it doesn't matter how many crunches you can do. You want to feel it, which I think you are.